Welcome to the West Virginia Case Podcast, hosted by Les Odell. Join us as we dive deep into all things strange, including Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, and more. Pull up a chair and set for a spell. It's going to be a great time. Now, without further delay, let's get the show started.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to the West Virginia Case Podcast. This is my first podcast and I'm going to give it a shot here. Tonight we will have Bill Rigby on. He's a researcher, Bigfoot researcher, podcaster, and event host. I want to thank everybody for coming. If you would like to be a guest on the show here, send me a message at West Virginia Case 304@yahoo.com. We're going to be talking about many different topics on this channel. Bigfoot, ghosts, UFOs, anything you want to talk about strange, we'll talk about. And without further ado, let's bring on Mr. Bill Rigby.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about anything strange. Let's bring Bill on.
I don't think there's anything stranger than Mr. Bill Rigby.
That's true. That is true. Thank you for having me on as your first guest, Les. I appreciate it.
Hold on, Bill. Sorry about that.
Yeah, turn your volume down.
No, the phone connected to my Bluetooth headphones.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was playing double. Sorry about that. Yeah, so welcome, Bill. Thank you for coming. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and get started here. If you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about Bill Rigby. Who are you, Mr. Rigby?
I'm just nobody. Just out there researching, trying to find the answers to anything cryptid and paranormal. I've been doing it for about 5 years now for the Bigfoot research, full time. Who said that? Oh, Bear. Oh, Bear's out there. There he goes.
There we go.
Yeah. But anyhow, but I actually got full time into Bigfoot research about 5 years ago, and it just blew up on me. You know, I was always a believer from the P&G film, but who in the hell would thought we had Bigfoots in the eastern part of the states? They're all out western Canada.
Yeah, it's what a lot of people believe, you know.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
You know, it was really weird because then what really got me into this was seeing different tree structures, the TPs, the horizons, the X's. You know, it's just crazy, and I was really impressed with where I was seeing them at. I've seen them here. I'm in Mercer County, Pennsylvania. But for a while, I was living in Indiana County, right up in the base of the Chestnut Ridge area. I was seeing them there. I saw them down in West Virginia. I seen them up in New York, over in Ohio. And I started saying, well, I got to see. There's something to these. I got to figure it out. And that's when I went and saw different YouTube things about it. And it's all coming back to Bigfoot. I'm like, really? Yes, upside down trees even. Bear, definitely. And the thing is really, really crazy because it's like, really? They're not over here. So I start watching different Bigfoot things on YouTube. there's a couple different ones. And the guy had him on his property. Oh, I was getting excited. And he says, I will show him. Well, no, he didn't. No, he didn't have him on his property. He was a hoaxer just trying to make a name for himself. Because every time, here it comes out of the woods now. Boom, nothing. Shuts the video down. And I got mad. And this guy says, oh, this is a bunch of crap. But then I found a couple Bigfoot groups on Facebook. So I joined them right away. Let me check it out here. Gary wants to know where your assistant's at.
Hey, he's outside right now. He's out with some cousins outside playing. He'll probably pop in.
Oh, he'll pop in, especially he knows I'm here.
Well, I told him he could, so if he finds out that he's going to probably be upset. But
yeah, that's my buddy.
Yeah, but if anybody's wondering who that is, that's my son Mason.
And that kid is a great researcher too. His dad's teaching him right. I will say that. Yeah, I'll brag you up a little bit less. But seriously, it's like, okay. Well, then I got in with the one group from Pennsylvania, Bigfoot, and I was able to go out and start researching with them. And it just like, wow, what the heck is this? What's going on here with this? Yeah, I'm learning, seeing things like I saw when I was out hunting and learning what to look at. Then I finally got a hold of Jamie King's one time. I felt something was following me in the one research area. It's in thick brush area. I can hear it on the other side of the thick brush. The time I walked, it walked. I believe I told you about that, Les.
Yeah.
When you was up here. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit. And so we just went ahead. I got a hold of Jamie. First time I talked to him, I told him where I was at, what was happening. He says, be careful, but I'd get out of there. Yeah, I went, I'm afraid to move right yet because every time I walk, it walked. I can hear it. And he's saying, well, if you happen to see it, don't look in the eyes. I said, I know that about predators, believe me, but I ain't got me worried. Well, I got out of there after 20 minutes of standing in that spot, trying to hear if it moves. I heard a little bit of movement, but I didn't see anything. And it's like, wow, this is crazy. Yeah, I'm out of there. And my heart's a pounding real hard. I'm saying, that wouldn't have been a bear. It was bipedal. I'll just wonder, could it have been? Oh, yeah, I bet it was. So I'm going on up out of the trail, on up to my vehicle, and got out of there. About 2 weeks later, I go back down in there, nothing. Nothing at all. Yeah, it was only checking me out there. I do believe that. Then we turn around. March 3 years ago, Brenda Sproul and I was out at the Shenango Reservoir, and we walked down in. Now, the winter water level was low. We walked in, but we're along the tree lines and went on up into the woods, walked around up there, checking things out. Didn't really see much of anything. We come back out, and I go, I'm going down along the water line, see if I can find any prints down along it. We found a trackway that went for over 100 yards.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then the spread was crazy because it went 5 foot. Now the prints themselves was about 14 inches by 7 inches, 7.5 going wide. My first attempt at casting screwed it up, so I didn't get it. But I did film it. And I filmed where I was walking and showing how my footprint went into the dirt. Well, it's actually stony ground, sandy, stony type mixture. And I barely made an indent. This thing made about a 3/4 of an inch one. And hi, Mr. Bill. And yes, he's been invited. He knows about it there, Bear. Get
Yeah,
unloaded, buddy. It's almost the weekend.
Yeah, that's my birthday weekend as well.
Oh, party at the Salt Fork. But yeah, we so that fired me up. Then there, beginning of May, Jamie took a report of one crossing the road right near where we had the trackway. And he posted about it. And he was going to the OBC and I wasn't going. And I said, do you want me to go in and check again? And he goes, and I go, I'll do that for you if you want. If not, I'll stay out. He says, no, go keep an eye on, see what you can find. So Brenda and I went back out there, learned that while he was at OBC, and where it supposedly crossed the road and jumped over a guardrail and went down into this little hollow that's kind of swampy. I get out in my van and I walk over and down, started down the embankment, which was kind of steep. And I was like, I really don't want to tumble down here into that swamp water. Now I noticed a couple prints down in just on the edge of the swamp water. I said, oh yeah, he crossed here. So we went ahead and got back out. We went down this other dirt road. And as we were going down the dirt road, I'm looking on the left side, see if I can see anything. And Brenda goes, there's tracks right there. I stop because I'm going only like 5 miles an hour. And I back up, and there's like where animals run up that little hillside, which is only about 3.5, 4 foot up. There's a print right in near the top of it. And that thing was about 14, 15 inches. I didn't measure it. I got out and looked and climbed up on the bank and was looking to see what I could find. And it looked like it was just traveling through there. We go on around, check things, nothing. So I told Jamie what we found and saw. And then we go to this little farm, Debbie Preggy and I. Debbie knows the people. And he saw a Bigfoot cross in front of his tractor. He has like a little 35 Farmette, ranch head, whatever you want to call it. So we go up there to investigate. We found prints and where the water runoff goes. So that's pumping me up. Saying, yeah, they're here. They're here. I got to see one. And it's, are you double talking or is it doing that on its own?
I don't know what's going on. My computer just froze up and blinked and.
Yeah, because I see it's double talking.
You
and me.
Where we're typing, when I'm typing?
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason it's sending it to both of us whenever I'm answering.
Oh, that's fine. So I'm talking. He's talking for me, saying hi and all that.
Yeah,
that works.
I don't know how. I don't know how it's doing it, but
it's streaming to my YouTube and to my group page. I had him do that also, so that's probably why that's working that way. So that was going on beginning of summer, and that in August, Jack Warren invited me to go to the So Speed camp out there at Salt Fork Group Camp. I've heard you got to go there if you want to see if Bigfoot or find all kind of evidence. I went, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. But finally, when Jack invited me, I said, oh, the hell with it. I'm going. I told Debbie Preggy about it. She said, oh, I'm going to go camping too. Told Mary Fabian. She said, oh, I'll end up going. Save me a spot. I says, maybe, if I can. I said, I don't know the layout of that place. I don't know how many's going to be there when I get there. So I get there. Jack was already there. I was the second one in. And about an hour or so later, Debbie pulled in and Mary and a bunch of other ones come in. And Debbie already knows some of them. And one was Mike Bennett from Sosby. And he came and he says, hey, let's go Bigfoot. That's why we're here. He says, no, come with me. We'll go travel around, see what we can find. So Debbie and I went with them. And we drove around Saltport. And I'm like, wow, this park's beautiful. I like this place. And it is squatchy. Well, we end up getting back to camp. He goes, want to go down the trail there? Sure, why not? And it's just starting to get dark. We head in there. And he goes, we'll go about 90 paces, stop, look, listen, see what we can see. Debbie had a little scope that she was using. And we go on in 90 paces. All of a sudden, a couple stones or little nuts came tossing up near us. And I'm thinking, interesting. Someone's messing with us. We went another 90 paces. That happened again on the left of us. I went, something ain't right. So I turn around and thinking, this ain't right. And I ain't saying that. And then Debbie goes, something's being tossed at us. I said, oh, that's coming out of the trees. Don't be paranoid. We go third 90 paces. And it happened again. Debbie says, I ain't going no far. I'm too scared. All right, give me your scope. You stand there with Mike. I'll go forward. If I see anything, I'll wave you up. If I don't, I'll just call you out. So I go up and I kneel down and I'm trying to focus the scope like this here. And out of the corner of my right eye, I saw a little movement. So I turn and look. 15 feet inside the trail there, right inside the wood line, there it was. It was knelt down staring at me like this. I'm like, I started to panic. And that's something I don't do. And I was getting really, really scared. And a lot of stuff was going through my mind. And the most important part was, get the F out of here. So I stood up. It stood up. And that's when the panic really hit me. I start running backwards. And let me tell you, you see, right now I'm 65, so that was 3 years ago. See a 62-year-old man running backwards without falling down. I did it. I did. And I got back to Debbie and Mike, and I'm yelling because it turned and started going down through the woods and then come out on the trail. And it's getting dark, so it's darker inside the tree lines there. And it's going down over the hill. I'm saying, lights. It says, hey, see it? Finally, Mike understood what I was saying, and he flashed the light at it. He had a nice spotlight. I said, "What did you see it? Did you get it?" But I'm in a panic.
Yeah,
and that's weird for me. And Mike goes, "Yeah, I saw Bigfoot's ass." I looked down and went, "What?" What he did was he saw the back end, yes, but he said it to calm me down at the same time, to throw me off guard, because he saw what kind of panic state I was in. And I ended up with PTSD over this whole situation. It's been really, really weird because we get back out of there. We told Mary Fabian about it. Mike told a couple other people about it. They all wanted to go running down there right away. No, well, Mary Fabian didn't. She, as we're telling her, she says, "Yeah, I know how Bill is. He saw it. He don't act this way." I'm like, "What the hell way am I acting?" Yeah, I was acting all jittery, jumpy, and nervous. And so the next day we go down, me and several guys, and we measured up on the tree. It was around 7 foot in that area, about where I saw on that tree where it stood up next to. It was dark brown hair, darker brown skin. I did not look in the eyes. I was kind of afraid. I'm going to say they were dark looking. But I'm not sure because I wouldn't look in the eyes.
Right.
The muscle tones that's what really scared me, was the muscle tone. And being that close to something that big.
About how tall was it, Bill?
Around 7 foot. It was definitely around 7. And I'm going to say it went 400 to 500 pounds. Because it was 4 foot wide. The necks, the arms, you could see the muscles. Even in the stomach, the muscles looked tight. And it was just, it threw me into some PTSD because I never get scared. And it actually scared the hell out of me. So, hi, Linda. How you doing? Hi, everyone that's watching. And after I come home from the camp out, and Barry ended up at that camp out too. The first time I met old Bear. And I didn't even talk to him about it. And I should have. Because he probably would have calmed me down even better. He showed up Friday evening. That was on a Thursday evening. And of course, Bear had a big crowd around him constantly. So I really didn't get to talk to him. But the thing is that after I got home, I didn't want to go back in the woods. And I didn't want to get out there. It's like, why did I get scared? I've never got scared in my life. I got startled a few times, but I never got scared. And that's where the PTSD came in. And because I was scared and I couldn't figure it out. And Mary Fabian talked to a few other people to call and talk to me. She gave them my number without permission, but knew I needed to talk to somebody. So different ones called me, and they talked to me about their experience and how I should deal with it in different ways. They go, there's different ways to deal with it. And one of the ways is to talk about it. Get it out there. And I'm thinking, yeah, right. Talk about it. No. Well, they were right. It does help.
Yeah.
And it took me a little while to actually tell the whole story because it was still kind of hard for me to do. And to this day, there's times I want to go out into the woods and then I just back off. It still bothers me somewhat. And the woods is my place of solitude. It really is. I get in there, I'm nice and relaxed. I enjoy it, the fresh air, the scenery, the wildlife that you see. So the thing is, it does affect you. And I can understand different hunters that have seen them and said, I'm never going back in the woods again, and don't. I can understand that. And a friend of yours and mine, they, Ron Howe, he does a thing for PTSD with soldiers, but it does work. What he does works with anybody. It doesn't have to be Bigfoot related. Anyone suffer with PTSD. He got it. That's a hell of a good thing he's doing. And me and him talked about it a couple of times and that. And but now I still get out. I still investigate. This past year, health-wise, I wasn't out as much as I wanted. Here, about a month back, you and me were out together.
Yeah.
And next day, I ended up in the hospital. Thanks to Les, he walked me to death. No, he didn't.
No, it was probably the 100-yard sprints I was making you run up and down the beach.
Yeah. Oh man. And he found a print because I went back to meet Jamie King and bring Jamie up to where we were at.
There was a couple of them.
Yeah, there was a couple prints there.
Yeah.
But the following week, Jamie and Jenny went back there.
Mm-hmm.
They saw the same stuff we did.
Right.
3 weeks after us were there, you, me, and Jamie, near that sand mound thing, he found a structure was built.
Yeah, I should have loaded that picture up because I figured we'd talk about that.
That structure was built there.
Mm-hmm.
And he contacted me right away about it. And that totally freaked me out because number one is right near his experience there.
Mm-hmm.
It's right near the print you found. Now that structure's there. I don't believe in coincidence. Something's happening in that area.
And for those that are wondering what it looked like, Jamie, well, you sent me the picture first, and then I talked to Jamie. It looked like it was, I mean, I wasn't there to look at it, but it looks like it was probably between 4 and 5 feet tall. And it was in a
teepee shape.
Yeah. There was one forked stick and had another big stick that went through it. Jamie called that the spine or the pointer stick. And then the other ones were around it. And what I found interesting about it is the bottom of this, because majority of the sticks were in the water. There was a couple in the sand, and you could see where they had been pushed in because it had caused the sand to go down. What I thought was interesting about the bottoms of the sticks, they were black colored. You could tell they had been waterlogged. So I believe, when I was talking to Jamie, I said I think that maybe this was taken from somewhere else and reset there.
Well, not just that. And I just put up, that's Josh Ensley. He found one at Salt Fork identical to it.
Yeah.
Had 7 sticks in the ground and had a long spine, pointy one. And that, like I said, I don't believe in coincidence. And yes, I did do a post on my agent's page side by side of those two. The only difference with Josh is had a big stone in the middle.
I was curious. I wonder which way, or where the spine sticks or the pointer stick, where were they oriented? Are they both in the same direction, like north, east, west?
Ours was south, headed south, because the way we walked down the beach and up into the woods after we crossed that sand mountain, it was headed up that big sand mountain, pointed that way, toward the pencil box.
Right. Yeah, that was kind of.
His was pointing across the lake there at Salt. His was east.
Okay, so it was east. So south and east. Okay.
Yeah. So, but these things, I don't know. someone said that Bigfoot might be using it as a fish trap, which is possible. Yeah, because the water level is going to be coming up.
Right.
Josh's was mainly all in water.
Right.
I believe. I remember right.
Right.
But see, I got a problem with structures.
Yeah.
I'm going to be straight up honest about it. A lot of them can be debunked.
Oh yeah.
Due to weather, rot. Like you pointed out, look at the deer antler rub on this side. That's why it's broke. Yeah, stuff like that.
Or like the ones we found that were there nearby there that were higher up broke. You could see that the tree had been scarred at one time, causing rot and causing a weak spot, and it actually would fall and it actually twist. Yep. There was a twist to it, you know. And when I used to trim trees years ago, we would do that when we cut trees. When we'd fell a tree, we'd hold it to one side. That way that the fibers inside that tree would actually make it turn. You can actually make it turn to a certain direction. Exactly. So that's basically what it's doing, even in nature as well. But yeah, always look for that scar piece to see first, and you're definitely most likely have a natural occurrence there.
And that's what I tell people. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel Lee from England. Young Daniel, 14-year-old researcher.
Hi, Daniel.
Right. The thing is that I tell them, look at it, see if it's weather, animal, natural, whatever, and debunk it. And please do not tell me Bigfoot did it when you debunk everything else.
Yeah. Unless
you saw him do it. It's a possibility. That's all it is. And we Susan, the Indians used to do that.
Yeah. A lot of survivalists do it, but they're not technically built the way that these were.
Yeah, exactly.
They're usually a standalone or a portable type thing. They're in the same shape, but usually it's portable and has where something can be funneled into but can't get back out. These structures, by the pictures, they just look like, for lack of better words, a teepee, but had an extremely long stick that was pointing in a direction. So I don't really think it was something that was really set up for fish or anything like that, because the bottom of them were way open. If anything, if something got in it, it's going to get right back out because there's nothing restricting. You know, like I said, in a fish trap, you have something that can get in and it can't get back out.
You're right. And Josh just said someone destroyed the one he found. He was there with the family yesterday.
At least you documented it. That's
that number one thing.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about Josh. He does do that. It's just, we got to document and then we got to share.
Right.
Like when Josh sent me the picture of that one he found, and Jamie, I asked them both before I did the side by side and posted it. Is it all right if I shared it? And I gave them credits for finding it. I did not take the credit. I refuse to take the credit for that crap because you got other researchers out there takes the credit for what you find. Mr. Dave Bruce, how you doing, brother? So, like that structure there. I found X's that I can debunk real easy. Right. I found two I cannot.
Right.
The root ball of a 20-foot tree in the air, making the X. I cannot. Not at all. That's a very good possibility. It was a Bigfoot that did it.
Right.
You know, I don't see a human ripping a tree out, and I don't know from God knows where, because there's no ground disturbance anywhere. And there's that tree with the root ball up in the air. Okay, a human ain't going to do it.
Right.
I didn't see no excavator tracks or anything like that in there, so it makes it interesting.
Yeah, I've only found a couple that I found intriguing. One of them was outside of Morgantown in the lower part of Chestnut Ridge, and it was a large tree top that it was a fork. You can see, it went up and it split, and it was just that. And it had been turned upside down, stuck in the ground and leaning against another tree. It didn't fall from any surrounding trees. I looked at all the surrounding trees. And this thing was anywhere from 6 to 8 inches around and probably at least 18, 20 feet tall. And it was a top. What was left?
That's interesting.
It wasn't a bunch of branches. It was it almost looked like a Y fork. Well, that's exactly what it was, a Y fork, but it had been turned upside down and stuck down in the ground. The other one that I found was nearby there as well. It was what they call a tree bow, which you see when you get in the woods, you'll see hundreds of tree bows, especially in an area that has a lot of different greenbrier.
Yeah.
They'll get entangled. But it was a nice big bow, and the only reason I documented it is because where the bow had come up, you could see where something had grabbed it, and there was muddy prints on it and scratch marks, like something that had fingernails or claws that scratched it. And then the third one is an area called Osceola in West Virginia, where I did a lot of my research down there. Well, investigating research, whatever you want to call it. I was there and found 2 partial prints. I casted them. While they set up, I hiked up in the valley, followed the creek up in the valley. Found a couple interesting things, and then come back, pulled the tracks, went home, and decided I was going to go back the following week. Well, the following weekend that I went back, where I was getting water for the plaster and had crossed the creek to going up through the valley, something had taken 2 trees they were completely delimbed. They were probably, the base of them was no more than the size of a Coke can, but they were, I don't know, 15 feet tall probably, and in between 2 trees right there where I crossed the creek, it put an X. And people have told me, that's just them telling you not to come back, but I don't know.
I don't buy that.
Yeah,
I don't buy that. I believe it's used as a marker, some sort of marking. They say go this way, or this is a good area to hunt, something, or just, hey, we went this way, follow me here. I don't believe X marks the spot means do not cross. No, I'm not buying into that philosophy at all. There's a reason for it, and I could be 100% wrong. It might mean don't go. But to me, no. And I still want to figure that out. And the TP structures.
Yeah.
They got to be some kind of trail marker.
Yeah.
To me,
yes.
They got to be.
Especially the small ones. I mean, there's nothing taking up residence in some of these little small structures. Then again, you can't rule out humans in a lot of them. Especially even
exactly.
I mean, you're in a national forest. I'm back in the woods. Somebody else could be back in the woods. So you still can't rule it out.
Here's the thing. In the state of Pennsylvania, you're not allowed to use a natural blind,
right,
for hunting. People still do.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't rule out human didn't do it. You cannot, because it's a possibility. Down in right on the Indiana-Cambria County line, we found some tree breaks. We found 4 turkey feathers laying on the ground, crisscrossing each other.
Yeah.
with turkey bones piled on top of them, just the bones, picked totally clean.
Right.
They were stacked up neatly. And the three people that were with me, like, wow. And they were just now learning how to investigate. So I was shown, and I don't know what did it. I really don't.
Yeah.
A coyote would tear the turkey apart and been spread all over.
Mm-hmm.
The same with any other, a bear even.
Yeah.
A friend of mine from down there, Micah, that lives in that area, which I used to live near there. And so I knew that area. And he heard I was coming down. He says, I'm off that day from work, and I'll come out with you guys. And I'm like, oh, that's great. You know, he's not a Bigfoot researcher, but he's a woodsman. So I figured that's great. He can help, you know, research this area and investigate, because there was a sighting there earlier that week. So we go in there, and we're walking around. I had these three with me. Micah takes off on his own way. I called out for him a couple times. He never answered. So I'm like, oh, well. And they go, ain't you worried about him? I'm like, no, he knows this area better than I do. And so I'm showing him different things, tree breaks and that, how they happen. And then we come across the turkey stuff. And right after that, Micah calls me. Says, you need to come see this. I don't know what to think of it. Like, okay, where are you at? I says, I don't know where you're at. And he says, I'm headed toward where the road where it's supposedly crossed. I says, all right, I'll be right there. Those three wanted to go. I says, no, it's probably nuts knowing Micah. He probably found bear poop. And they start laughing. And I said, what do you want us to do? I says, just walk around this little area. I says, there's a power line right out there. Check out there even. You know, if I'm not back by the time you search in this little area. I go, and I'm looking for, I can't find him. I yelled out, and he said, up this way. So I turn and go up toward him. A nest. There was a nest. I about filled my pants. And it was like, holy cow. And he goes, what? I went, that's a nest. He says, it's a nest? I said, it's a nest. Some of the trees that made that nest, no humans was carrying. Not 4 humans could carry a couple of those. And I'm being dead serious. And I took pictures of it. And one thing I noticed, there was a tree stand with camo wrapped around it. About 30, 40 yards to the one side.
Yeah.
All right. Something ain't right here. Why would that? And I checked with several people. One was Jamie King. A lot of nests they found are near some kind of blind or tree stand. And I never knew that.
Yeah, he mentioned that when I was up there.
Yeah. And that kind of shocked me. And other ones have told me that. And it's like, wow. Okay. And maybe they do that to keep an eye on the hunter. Now, and I don't know the reasons of it, but it's very interesting. You know, and that's the thing about this whole research of the cryptid world is it's all interesting because you don't know what to expect and what you're going to find.
Yeah, because it's everybody's still learning. Even the people that think they know pretty much everything, they're still learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a question for you, Les. I don't know if I asked you this yet or not. I might have. Someone actually produces a body.
Right.
And say, here it is.
Right.
There's a Bigfoot right here. and it's really is. Are you done researching it?
No.
Me neither.
You want to know why? The
This,
body's been produced, yet the existence of it's been proven. But
uh,
the animal itself isn't. There's still nothing known about it.
yeah,
Very little survey done.
exactly. And
Yeah.
that's what I said when that question was thrown at me.
Right.
And he said 75% of the people said it like you. No, they would not quit. And I said, well, the other 25% is in it for fame and fortune. I said, they're assholes. Exactly what I said on the interview. They're assholes. And to me, that's what they are. They're just in it for the money and the glory.
I wouldn't. I'm not out there really to prove his existence for the most part. Or for any kind of fame and fortune. If I did, I just want to know for myself. I've never had an experience really that I can concrete say that was Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever you want to call it. But
Right.
my interest is there. I mean,
That's the thing. That's the thing. Our interest is there to figure this out.
Yeah.
Even with my podcast, I tell people, I'm not doing it to get famous. I'm getting it to learn and share the knowledge. And that's what you do too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say something right now. The first time I ever talked to you was on the phone because I was asked to come down to West Virginia to do research.
Right.
And I called you on it and said, I heard you was there. Fill me in. You filled me in and you said how it is. And exactly. And I went, all right, well, then I ain't going to waste my time going down there. To me, it's not worth it. Yeah, I can go down and check out the West Virginia countryside.
Right.
I can do that anytime. But to go for on a waste of a time investigation, I'm not doing it.
Well, it wouldn't have been a waste of time. I mean, you definitely would have heard the encounter and the account, but
I did hear we talked a lot, and I believe he saw something.
Oh yeah, I believe he had the experience he had. Yeah, I believe he did. I believe he had an experience, but but the amount of land there that you had,
yes,
you were available to look at wasn't very much. It was extremely rugged as far as like hillsides and stuff. So, I mean, I was there a couple times. I've been there 2 or 3 times, and I've talked to him several times, and he showed me casts of prints he supposedly found, and it's still there. It's a little bit intriguing with what he experienced that night, but yeah.
That's the thing. I don't doubt anybody's encounters.
Right.
I can't. And I got to treat them with respect, even though it might sound far-fetched. But take that report and document it. Because who knows? Someone else might have the same type of encounter.
Right.
And so you can go back on. And I'm not that big of internet research and library researching like you do. You go really in depth.
Well, that's
I rather talk to people about it and find out what they seen or heard in that area, the whole 9 yards. I don't go that deep into it like you do.
I do that as well. I enjoy talking to a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people in West Virginia about encounters they've had. But I also like looking into some historical records or other some other online resources to actually see if there's been other sightings in that area, or if there's because in the older days there were stories called wild man, or a lot of more wild the stories of wild man or a devil or something like that. And if you look at some of those, you can actually see correlation with them and modern day accounts.
Exactly. And the thing is, with the different records, and I do some research. I ain't saying I don't. I do. And I don't know. To me, that's the hard part of the research.
Well, the hardest part of the historical research, even though you have some people that have sightings, is trying to separate the lore of that area. Like, hey, there
Right.
was historical sightings here that's been passed down through years and years.
Right.
Are the sightings that's taking place now true sightings, or is that lore or whatever bleeding over into what, I don't say their imagination, but bleeding over to their misidentification, because that's what they have been
Yes.
predisposed to. So
Yes.
yeah, that's the hardest part about it.
That's the thing too. It is. That is the hardest part. Um, Now, on one local group page, I posted that I researched the cryptid and the paranormal. I'd love to hear your stories, and please don't make fun of it because this is what I do. I research it and try to figure it out. And actually, the one that started the group is a good friend of mine now. And she made sure there was not a lot of people jumping on there being the trolls.
Right.
But I got a private message from this lady that she saw a Bigfoot cross the road in February in front of her and her cousins coming back from skating. So I don't know if they were skating at like a skating rink or ice skating. This was February. I didn't think to ask because I was totally shocked with her story, and where it was at. And it was on Route 58 up between Mercer and Greenville. And I go, man, what year was this? 1962.
Mm-hmm.
I went, holy shit, 5 years before the P&G.
Yeah.
And she told her parents about it. They says, you didn't see nothing. Don't sell nobody nothing. It's that type of mentality.
Right.
She wasn't allowed to talk about it. They said, we don't want to hear it. Don't bring it up again. She ended up talking to the farmers behind their place one day, and she asked him if he saw anything like it. He said, yeah, I saw him about 3-4 times. I told people about it, and they started making fun of me, so I don't say nothing to none of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. I got that documented here.
Right.
And it's like, wow, 1962.
The oldest the oldest one I've taken here in West Virginia was here in Marion County. Was from the early part of 1920s.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was contacted by a gentleman, told me the story, and his uncle that experienced it was a child at the time, was at that time now when I took the account was in his 90s, and he still recollected what happened about the thing running. It actually ran through the yard. It was, they call it, they said they thought it was a gorilla running on 2 feet running through their yard.
Oh, wow. That'd been awesome to take that one. Because stuff like that really tweaks your interest too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, wow, they've been around here for that long, and stuff like that. It makes you get you thinking.
Yeah.
And all the years I spent in the woods hunting,
Right.
and which was a lot. And then camp, going out in the woods, just camp out in the woods. There's no way. No way they can be here. There's no way, but they are.
Yeah.
I was never really trying to research them back then. I believe, but I wasn't researching.
Right.
Yeah, they're out, but they're out west, so I wasn't looking here. I wasted all those years. I could be like Brett Saluga.
Yeah.
Been researching for 50 years.
But you know what you've got and Fred doesn't?
A sighting.
Exciting. Fred's been doing it for 50 some
Yeah.
years and has yet to see one.
And
So that just shows you. It's not always the people out there looking. It can just be something by chance, a happenstance, you know?
and that's what I believe that's what happened. Well, no, I think it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Because it altered me. It altered the way I look at things and everything. So I think it was meant to be for that. It wasn't happenstance. It made me respect the woods even more than I do, because that's my solitude. The woods are
Yeah.
my solitude, and I'll never say it's not.
Right.
And so I got that much more respect to the woods, and I'll definitely go back out and there as often as I can now, even though there's times I get hesitant,
Right.
because of my experience. I still go.
Well,
And
some people turn toward it, some people turn away. You know, some people just, that's the same way with me. I didn't get started with Bigfoot. You know, what my interest didn't start with Bigfoot. My interest started with paranormal.
right,
The paranormal. Not saying that I'm into the paranormal Bigfoot, but that's where I started. It got in how I got into Bigfoot is a whole story, but I had an experience as a kid, and that led me into reading and wanting to know things, and my brother was completely opposite. I mean, he apparently had some kind of experience like I did, but he wants nothing to do with it. He doesn't want
right.
to talk about it. He doesn't want to, if you bring up a ghost, and he's like no, or someplace haunted, he's
That's
like no. So
that's the thing, and how it affects people and how it affects people differently. Um, but I got the old adage: you fall off the horse, get back on it.
mm,
And I almost didn't get back on the horse after my sighting.
right,
And I started thinking, all right, so you're not superhuman anymore, you're just human. Get on that horse and ride it.
right,
Get out there. And basically what I did. And it helped. Helped talking about it.
yeah.
Helped. And that's another reason why I started my podcast.
And that's the reason I
Yeah.
started. That's the reason I started West Virginia Case.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people tell me, this, the things that I put on Facebook. When I share those, I have permission to share them. But I've talked to many, many, many people on the phone or through Messenger or emails and stuff that will tell me, it's just I'm just happy to talk to somebody. Somebody
Yeah.
that doesn't think I'm nuts. And
Same here. Yep.
so.
Except for Mothman 46.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. No one believes Bigfoot. He talked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talks about his Saluga sightings. Yes, yes, yes.
Fred is the Chuck Norris of Bigfooting.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And the thing is, too, with Fred, he's not afraid to tell you how it is,
No.
how he believes. And I got a lot of respect for him for that. I really do. And I talk to Fred as much as possible because, he's 75, 77, and
Yeah.
he still gets out there, and his health ain't great. But he's so full of knowledge. He's probably forgot more than you and me or ever know in our lifetime put together, because he's been doing it so long. So there's a lot of respect for him for that. And I agree. Nobody believes Bigfoot when he talks about his Saluga sighting because Fred hasn't seen one. And he tells people, I haven't seen one.
Yeah. And Brian Seach is also, him
Yes.
and Terry both have been doing it, 35, 38
Yeah.
years. And they'll tell you, we've not seen one either. And
Yeah.
I've talked to other people it's been in it for quite a long time and haven't seen one.
Right. And So I don't know if it's a blessing in disguise that I did or something bad. I feel fortunate that I was able to see it and answer my own question. And are they out there?
Right.
Yes, they're out there. Now, yeah, 1 second. Take care, Johnny. The one thing I'd done on my group page just the other day was
Thanks, Johnny.
uh, was what the woo factor. This was on Wednesday, yesterday.
Right.
Is it Woo Wednesday? Do I believe in the woo? I don't know. Do Bigfoot jump through portals? I don't know. Are they interdimensional? I don't know. What I saw, I presume, was flesh and blood because it looked flesh and blood.
Right.
Did I see it jump through a portal? Hell no. Did I see it go interdimensional? Hell no. But the thing is, we got to keep an open mind.
Right.
Oh, the woo. That you got to get with the science. No, you don't. A lot of things were woo, and then science proved it was right.
Yeah. The gorilla. The
gorilla.
Yeah. Well, here's how I feel about it. I'll take any report that anybody wants to tell me, and eventually I can probably will make a connection with something. But here's how I really feel about it. To prove something exists, you have to sometimes prove that, or how I don't want to say it again. To prove something, sometimes you have to prove what it's not.
Right.
So why not take those reports that are what they call the woo or the paranormal, and study those, and then you eventually can find enough. Maybe we'll get enough data put together to say, "Hey, no, this isn't."
Get a common denominator that throws it together.
This is something else.
And that's the thing I said. I'm not stating this about woo to start an argument. We're not arguing on my group. I want to hear why you think woo and why you think not. Because we don't know. It might help us if you tell us what you're saying.
Right.
And that's what I try to preach. Share your knowledge. Share what you think too.
Right.
Not just your knowledge, but what you think. And get it out there so we can all learn and figure this out together. And that's the way I feel about it. And I'm going to stick with that the rest of my life. The whole next 60 years of it. Right. If I'm lucky. If I'm lucky.
You'll be there.
Yeah. I want to outlive Fred.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen. He's an alien.
I think Mason's trying to come in. What, Mason? Come here, Mason. Here he comes, Bill.
All right. Get in here, boy. You better come and say hi to me.
Yes.
Hey, Bill.
You better come in and say hi to me, buddy. How you doing? All right.
I'm going to take a shower.
Good. I heard you was outside playing. You're probably sweaty.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
It's good seeing you, Mason.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
I knew he'd come in.
Yeah. I figured he would. And here, this is right.
Yeah, that's true. About anything would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I don't discredit anyone talking woo. I don't. I can't.
No, but you also can't be you can't be on the other side of the fence and like some people are strictly flesh and blood
Yes,
animal and hardcore to that, which I mean I guess it's fine and it's fine to be hardcore woo too, but we still have to find that balance where we can talk to one another. And again, you have to figure out what is what. You
we
know,
need that balance,
distinguish
and
between the both of them.
we need that balance,
Right.
and you got to keep an open mind. Take off the damn blinders.
Right.
You know, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Take off those damn blinders and look at the whole picture and take it all in. Then decipher it.
Right. You know, for
Basically.
me the easiest explanation and solution is it's an animal. It's an animal. You know, because of the certain
Yes.
things. You know that's just going to be the easiest answer, because if it's not and it is like something that's transdimensional, that opens a whole different kind of worms that we got to figure out how that actually works. You know.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
I actually want to see a portal so I can step through it, see what's happening on the other side. I'm
right,
serious. I would do that. But yeah,
since we're on this topic a little bit, what are your feelings, and have you seen any like lights in the woods? Have you experienced that?
orbs. I seen orbs in this woods.
I mean, we can call them orbs or lights and or whatnot.
I've seen orbs. Yes. What do I know what's causing them? Hell no.
No.
Okay.
You think when they're in now there's been like the one time I seen the one, it was in an area where there was Bigfoot sightings and I was investigating. Do you think they have a connection to Bigfoot, or do you think they're just a phenomenon all their own?
I don't know. It's a possibility because the orbs I saw with Jay Fouch, it was at Saltport, the group camp area. I was doing my first camp out there that I sponsored. And Jay came in Friday night after work. It was late. It was after 1 a.m. He showed me pictures. I said, "Oh, I got more to show you out in the car." So we walked up to his car. All of a sudden, we heard a whoop across the roadway. And it was very interesting because as soon as we turn around, we're checking. I go, "Did you hear it?" He says, "Yeah, I heard it." And it's like, wow, this is neat. And all of a sudden, over this way, there was 3 orbs, white orbs. And you could see them spinning like this. They weren't going around trees. They were going through trees.
Right.
Moving slowly. And it was like they were too far away to film with my phone. And Tommy Moore says, I have blinders, that it's real and it's flesh and blood animal. Tony, but keep an open mind to it too. Like I said, what I perceived, what I saw was flesh and blood. And I was only 15 feet away. Could it jump through portals? Yeah, I think they could if there was one there. It's a possibility.
Well, here's how I feel about some of it. I believe that a majority, I mean, the biggest majority, that it is an animal. It definitely is an animal. I believe that some of the things that people are seeing that they're calling Bigfoot is, you know, as far as the paranormal aspect of it, that maybe the reason they're doing that is because that's the only frame of reference they have. Maybe it's something completely different, not even associated with Bigfoot. But
the thing there too is, I don't care if you think it's just flesh and blood, but keep an open mind. Tony, you say it's real. Have you seen one? Please tell me that. I'm hoping you did. But Katie, you're right. I believe some of that, Katie. I believe if they know you're a good person, you're not out to hurt them or not, I believe they might show themselves to you. And yeah, it's a protective bubble that they can sense. Okay, Tony, but please keep an open mind. You're saying not yet. Keep an open mind to it all. I you can still believe flesh and blood. I still believe flesh and blood, but I got an open mind that it can go another way. Kind of the Native American. Yeah, one of these days when we talk on the phone, Katie, I want to hear your thing on that, because I'm very fortunate to have my sighting. I don't think I'm very fortunate to have it as close as I did, with all honesty. But I do believe it knew I wasn't going in there to harm it, but I still believe it was counting coup. And the Native Americans do that. They see how close they can get to you without you noticing. And I believe that's what he was doing.
Which,
if
you believe that, then you have to believe they have an intelligence well beyond an instinctual intelligence. Like some animals have. They have some kind of reasoning, and they can think things through. Then, when you say,
yes, I believe they're very intelligent. But let me change that narrative up a little bit. You got street smarts, you got wood smarts. They are very wood smarts. Okay. They know how to use the woods for cover. Hey, Tom, thank you for having me. Tom Franklin. And I do believe they're very wood smart and learn how to centuries of using the woods to their advantage. Josh, what do you mean?
Probably the actions that I don't know his sighting, but probably maybe the actions it took toward him. Probably,
Yeah. He should explain that a little more. But now, like the one I saw, it was not out to hurt me. It was trying to get in close because I believe when it was knelt down, it was leaning in and put his hand down in front of him. That's what I caught out of the corner of my eye. I know other ones had them bluff charge them. They get real aggressive. They're shaking back and forth and clicking their tongue. I've heard all that. I'm just thankful mine wasn't aggressive, or I'd be dead as close as that was. And I say that all the time. The thing is, though, when you're out there, trust your gut, keep an open mind, debunk the stuff if you can. Gary, you're right. There is no doubt they are just as interested in understanding us as we are them. That's 100% true. Because they're at Saltport camp outs. They sit inside the wood lines and watch us. They've been scoped out. They've been seen. Humans are entertainment at those camps. They really are. Now, I'm going to throw something at you real quick, Les. What about Dog Man?
What are you about? Do I believe it exists?
Yeah.
The
Daddy, was I told and I didn't come in when you straight that on.
Okay. All right. You're good.
Love you. Can I play my Nintendo?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can I?
Do they exist? Do they exist? Do they exist?
Can
I can see the possibility of Bigfoot existing.
What?
Yes, Mason.
Thank you.
The possibility of Bigfoot existing as far as a natural animal. The possibility of an upright walking canine. I don't know. It just the
Anubis.
Yeah, I know, but that's not really. But the Anubis wasn't really a upright walking canine. That was basically a chimera where they actually made a hybrid. That's a difference. That's a difference. As far as an upright walking canine that actually has the legs, body, tail, and everything that you see, or some Dogman stories call or describe, is just not in there's just not a biological genus for it. You can see that, as far as Bigfoot, yeah, there is, because you do have other apes. We are discovering different types of apes. We are discovering different types of primates every year. I mean, look, just a few years ago, we discovered an actual cryptid Bigfoot type creature, and that was the billy ape.
Yep.
It was it has been discovered. So no, I don't. If Dogman does exist, I think it would have to be something that was created somehow. I don't think it's a biological, natural thing that just happened. I just don't feel like it is.
I'm not buying into that theory, Tony. Sorry, because of that.
Yeah, Roger. I know which one you're talking about. But also we have, we have baboons, like it shows there. So
Yeah.
we could have a larger primate, I think, with the face like that. I just don't feel that we have an upright walking canine,
Yeah.
or canine,
Well,
that has the feet and legs. The gooey, however you
it's
say
interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, is a Bigfoot-like creature. It clear down to the legs, body shape, feet, supposedly, not necessarily an upright walking dog.
What ain't the Googly supposedly vicious?
Yeah, some of them, I believe.
Yeah, I believe I heard that. Well, so is Bigfoot. Some of them. I'm not going to discredit that either, because like humans, you got good ones, you got bad ones. What can I say? No,
I see what Mothman 46 is saying there. It was wanting, if what people are calling the Dogman is a googly. Yeah, it's a very good possibility. I think in some cases, yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I believe, yeah, I believe that too, and it is. That's the thing. But the thing is that it could be a googly. It could not be. It could be an actual dogman. I took a sighting report of a dogman 3/4 from my house, and it's crazy. And I believe the guy. I actually believe him. And there's been some dogman reports, and I believe Jamie told you that where we were at, and near there. So are they or aren't they?
Yeah. Well, Tony's saying there, Giantopithecus
Yeah.
is Blackie. Yeah, it's a possibility that some may be, but that still doesn't explain some of the accounts and stories where they talk about these things looking like what Mothman 46 there said with the snout, and some that, I've actually taken reports where they fit the description what they would call the old wow men. It's basically
Yes.
more human looking than American looking, or than ape looking. So I don't think that they all fit in that category.
I don't know where the picture is that was drawn in my sighting. Um, it was it was close, but it wasn't right on. Um, it had the boxer's nose, got big head,
Yeah.
somewhat human looking, somewhat ape looking. I can't say which way it could have went. It's just crazy. Yeah, Josh saw him twice. But
See, and that's another thing. You're talking about how he says, "I never want to see one again." Most people that have sightings of the dog man, that's what they say, that it instills a fear in them that's like primal.
yeah,
So
well, let's be real. You see a big ass dog charging at you, would you? That's scary enough.
yeah. Well, I mean, but even though it's a big dog charging at you, it's still, I think it's going to be just as scary for a large, ape thing coming at you. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very much so. And that's why I say I'm glad mine didn't do that. Yeah, bad. Yeah, you're right.
what does that mean, Jeremiah?
Badass dogman.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
He's right. But anyhow, hey, I got to get some sleep tonight. As
All
you
right.
know, I got an hour of sleep today. My one grandson was rushed to the hospital yesterday evening, so I didn't get no sleep till I got some reports on how he's doing and everything. But I'm tired. Les, I want to thank you. It's been an honor to be your first guest, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of information.
Well, thanks for coming, Bill. I mean, and hope everything is well with your grandson.
He's home right now. He got home
Good.
when we went on the air.
Thanks,
Thank
Robert.
you.
Thanks, Tammy.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Les, you're going to do great with your show. You're a good host, and I do appreciate being your first guest.
I appreciate you coming on, and I'll see what I can do for next week. I just wanted to get into this. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I don't know, just finally pulled the trigger, I guess, and with your help, there.
I kicked you in the back end there and got you going.
That's right. Yeah, that's why you see right there, folks, in the little ticker, sponsored by the Agents of Unexplained. Bill's the one. Bill pushed me into it.
Yes, I did. I told him he'd do good at it too, and I'm glad you're doing it, Les. You're going to get a lot of information out. You're well liked. I don't know about having Robert Solomon on. Oh man, yeah,
Hey,
he's uncommon. Uncanny.
Hey, Robert, you're actually on my list. I would like for you to come on and we'll talk some Giants a little bit. Just let me know. I'm gonna start doing on Thursdays every Thursday at 7:00. So message me, brother. Thank you, Tony.
It's more than just Giants he knows about.
Oh, I know.
That kid's smart.
Anything, ancient history is, and he's in. He knows his stuff. That's for sure.
Yes, and I'm going to throw a couple quick things in about my group and my YouTube channel. And I'm doing a conference March 30th at the Hickory VFW in Hermitage, Pennsylvania. I got 40 plus vendors. I got 5 speakers. We had 1,000 people come through last year and only had 30 vendors and 6 speakers. I hope you can come. Whoever's out there, welcome to come up to it. But the following year, we're going bigger. And by the way, Robert is one of the speakers. I called him right away last year to see if he can come this year. And I didn't even have my conference on yet, but I wanted to line him up because I loved how he did his presentations. He's awesome. And my wife's calling me.
You better go. You better go.
I gotta go. So thank you, Les.
Thank you,
I'm
Bill.
out.
Have a good night, buddy.
Good night.
All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. I really appreciate all coming. And like I said, if you have an experience or you're a researcher or whatnot, I mean, I'll talk to anybody that wants to talk to me. Just send me a email at West Virginia, or sorry, just put WVCase at WVCase304 at yahoo.com. And yeah, we'll see you all on the next one.